Bit of breaking news, conveniently timed since we're talking about the Seahawks at the Ravens. Seahawks are getting some help in terms of their defense. The Giants trading Leonard Williams to the Seahawks.
Wow.
With the Giants getting back a 2024 second rounder and a 2025 fifth rounder. You would think that second rounder, Seahawks already 5-2. Leonard Williams only helps that defense. USC guy. Not like Pete Carroll was there when he was there, but certainly, you know, that connection with Pete and his is it your alma mater if you coach there? Coaching alma mater? Fight
Maybe.
on, whatever.
Yeah.
His old employer, Leonard Williams, like, you know, fantastic player. And Seattle coming to Baltimore. You would think, I guess I don't know how they would do this, right? It's Monday. I guess Leonard Williams is going to fly out to Seattle, do the physical, do all that, and then I would guess that he's playing like sort of a rotational snap basis this week, just because the deal is going down on a Monday. You know, Seattle will have him in the building. You know,
Cool.
I would think tonight. I mean, today, tomorrow. And you know, you've got this matchup against Baltimore. It's a huge matchup. Bird matchup 1. That's always an important factor. And then 2, you got just 2 like. Yeah, it's not that insane to suggest that the Ravens and the Seahawks should be a Super Bowl matchup either. I mean, that's the NFL is wide open enough this year that like I think it'd be a surprising matchup, and plus this way both teams can't lose when I suggest it, like the Lions and the Dolphins 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I would think you see Leonard Williams on a semi-rotational basis, and this only boosts, you know, prop. You and RJ were big on the Seahawks before the season to win the division bets, make the playoff bets. All those look very, very good. I mean, the make the playoff bet. I believe right now the Seahawks are to make the playoffs are very. I believe it's let me see, I'll tell you exactly. I'm just looking it up. They're minus 350 to make the playoffs. They're plus like 150 before the season. So you're feeling very, very good about that. I think it should actually be lower than that. It should be like minus 500, honestly, given how they played. And I'll probably take the points here with Seattle. Baltimore's really good at home. But, you know, I think this is sort of trade where you got to get Leonard Williams, who's like a Pro Bowl caliber interior defensive lineman, or just you can move them all around too. You can be an edge rusher, you can rush on the interior, you know, with Dexter Lawrence. They've done some different stuff, but like, I think Seattle will be creative with him. I think he will make an impact. And I think too, on a week where you're coming off this huge win against Cleveland at the last second, you know, with where the 2 final plays on the offense and the defensive side of the ball were made by rookies. You have these great rookie classes the last 2 years. You feel all this momentum in Seattle, and then you go to make this trade for like a big name player. Like you're giving up like a future second round pick. Like that gets your team. Your team's like, yeah, like these guys, we believe it. Like, you know, so I think 5.5 probably a bit steep for me in that market. I'll take Seattle with the points there.
Brinson, you know who else is huge on Seattle was Emory Hunt. He has him winning the NFC West.
Right. Ratio on this show is not going. But here's I was on a Baltimore Ravens radio show in the summer, and we were doing season predictions, and I brought up the Seattle being a very tough game for Baltimore, and everybody was like, "Why?" I was like, "Where are the Ravens? You know, questionable. It's in the secondary. Where is Seattle strong at receiver and in the passing game?
Yep.
This game is probably going to be back and forth, because if you notice, and this is maybe people love this technique that when you're playing in phase where you just don't look back for the ball, you just grab onto the receiver's chest and hope for the best and try to play through the hands at the last second. You're going to get burned a ton of times, and Marlon Humphrey is great at doing that technique, but he leaves himself susceptible to illegal contact, pass interference, and in this ball game, whoever he's going to be matched up on, whether it's DK Metcalf or Jackson Smith and Jigba, either way, the Ravens don't have enough of Marlon Humphreys out there in the secondary. And I think this one could go where they're going to be able to score. And we know Lamar Jackson is able to lock in, and they'll find big plays. That's why I say 42.5 is too low. I think people are thinking defense in this one. No, this is going to be an all offensive game because both teams are going to be able to go up and down the field.
And that's a good call. We've seen Seattle too, like more than willing, and Baltimore as well, like more than willing to sort of get engaged in these, like, you know, it's those games where like both teams spin the tempo up a little bit. You know, like you can't run the ball. You're like, all right, we're going to pass the ball. And you just start seeing these like back and forth, and Yeah, I could see that for sure. Prop, you got anything on this game?
I just love this Leonard Williams move. I think it's huge for Seattle. The rich get richer. I argued during the offseason, one of the most talented defenses on paper in the NFL. They certainly look better and better every week. So love this move to offset the loss of Nwosu, who I believe led the team in sacks. So yeah, definitely a welcome addition there. I think that's going to really help out the defense, add more depth. So love it for Seattle. I also like Seattle in this matchup. I think 5.5 is too many points as well. I think the over, as Emery mentioned, is a very good look here as well. So all in on Seattle. Can't believe they were even money to make the playoffs in the offseason. Silly. Yeah, my biggest position as far as futures are concerned. So definitely loving how that's trending.